in another room. So sharing my shack is a 1936 Chandler and Price 8x12 letterpress. And I'm supposed to be doing QSL cars on that thing, and I think I do it when it's still in the works. But I even use a computer to design plates for that whole thing. But for some reason, integrating it in with my shack today, one of the problems I had is, I don't have any room to put a tablet or anything. I've got a 1910 Remington mill, like that mill, and I suppose I could probably move it. One of the laptops there or something like that, but I don't know. I guess it's between the code keys and that kind of thing. I do mostly either AM or CW. I do a little bit of sideband, but everything here tends to be really vintage, and it's just kind of out of place. I don't know. But yeah, I've got a room I can go in. I can access my Mac collection, my PC collection. Oh my gosh, I've got them going back to the 80s. But and some of them I have to, because there are some programs that will only run on the older machines. Design programs will only work on the pre-Intel Mac processor, so I even have a Quicksilver back there. I use that occasionally. Oh, gosh. One of these days. Jerry, go ahead and take it up. KE9U, WD4NKA.
Okay, and I heard Perry. I heard Bob. PKC Bob this morning. So, I'll tell you what, Perry, I'll send it to you. You can pick up Bob. And then, Bob, you can send it to Kevin, KK4GZ. So, a nice group this morning. Everyone sounded really nice. It's working well. And, boy, just lots of good stuff today. And Don, doggone, boy, you know, if I wasn't in the same shape that you're in, I'd be talking to you about buying something you're thinking about selling, but I thought, no, I'm kind of not wanting the heavy stuff anymore either. That's why I got rid of this homebrew thing. The heaviest thing is my power supply. But, you know, it's in the rack and the pieces, so it's 70 pounds, and everything else is around 30. And the whole complete unit, of course, you know, but it's on wheels, so don't have to lift it. I can roll it out to the garage if I need to. But, yeah, I tell you, you know, there's a guy that had a BW 5100 not too far from here with the NC300, 325 for the complete package, and I was tempted. But I thought, oh, man, those 5100s are heavy. Oh, sheesh. But anyway, so I just kept quiet here on the seat, and I didn't email him. Somebody, I'm sure it's sold already, which is good. Good for him. I still had this Viking one I'd like to move along, but I don't know. I may do some Robert's Goofer Dust on it and just reconfigure that thing and make it a RF deck component for this rack homebrew here for, you know, something else to slide in there if I feel like it. So anyway, let's see, Perry, here it comes to you. And, like I said, send it to Bob and then Bob to Kevin. So good morning, W3MMR from KE9U.
And Bob, send it to Don, WC4D. Go ahead, Perry.
Hey, boy. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. As you can hear, I'm still trying to wake up. The coffee's still in the other room. I haven't crawled in there to grab it. It is ready, however, but good morning, all. Good morning to Jim, KM4XG. I usually hear you at night, Jim. I had to look at the clock to see what time it was. But good morning to you. Good to hear you here in the morning with the group here. We always usually get a good group in here in the morning, so usually lots of fun. Anyway, like I said, I'm still trying to wake up here. I'll send it down to Bob. I don't have too much to comment on this go round, but we'll stick in here for a bit. 57 degrees, loud, crunchy band, but everyone is coming over top of it. Good morning, Bob. Hopefully you can hear me. Here it comes. K4BKC, who will send it down to Don, WC4D. This is W3MMR. Here comes Bob.
W3MMR and the fine group. This is K4BKC. Good morning, Terry, and good morning to the whole group. Boy, propagation is great from here. I'm copying everyone. Just stellar communications this morning. I don't have anything near as interesting going on as you guys do. I need to have an antenna project, but I'm trying to get motivated. I've been painting on the inside of the house and doing plaster repair and just different projects, and by the time I just detest that kind of stuff, but it needs to be done, and so we're getting that done, and by the time I get through with that, my motivation has dwindled. So I'm on the same stuff, the 20V2 and the doublet, and listening on the R390, and you guys are sounding wonderful. Good morning to you, Don. Hadn't talked to any of you guys except for maybe Jerry and Kevin in a while, but you're all sounding good. Whiskey Charlie 4 Delta to take it. This is K4BKC.
K4BKC. Good morning, Bob. Good morning, Perry. Yeah, well, the reason you haven't heard me because I haven't been on. This is 2 days in a row for me. This is the most I've been on the radio in a year, easily. And I had about a 6 or 7 month hiatus off the radio. And I had a son pass away last year, and I just kind of fell into a funk and didn't want to do anything. And as far as working on the house, boy, I know how that is. We decided to do a lot of painting and stuff like that, and we've laid, we took our carpeting up and put vinyl plank flooring down in our upstairs in our hallway and stuff. And we thought for a minute that we could possibly do it. We watched videos, didn't look too hard. Man, am I glad we paid. It was money well paid to have somebody come in to lay that stuff. To make all the cuts that went around the closets and the doorways and everything else down that hall. And to lay that stuff, oh, I went nuts. There's no way I could have done it. I didn't have the expertise to lay it. I thought it was just, clip here, make a little start with a knife, break it. And no, it was nothing like that. And we had a 3-man crew in here, and they literally worked all day long. Put in 10 hours probably just to lay the living room and stuff. It goes really fast. It's just all the cuts that you got to make and all the final things. And then we put 5-inch, oh my gosh, whatever the stuff goes along the edge of the floor, whatever. I can't remember the name of the dumb stuff. But we put this 5.5 inch, and they pre-painted it and stuff. The guy sprayed it with a gun before he put it up and went back and caulked everything. It was beautiful when they got it done. Absolutely beautiful. So it was a little costly getting it put down, but I think in the long run, well worth it. I was wondering, you guys that run the R390s and stuff like that, what you use on the speakers and stuff like that, because I use a BHI external speaker that has a DSP system built into it. I absolutely love it. I like it so much I got 2 of them. And I run them on my 75A2, 75A3, and my R388. Because there's, the filtration on them things is just minimal at best. And I absolutely love running these speakers. They sound good. They're already preamplified. So they're really good. I don't know a model number though. I have two of them I'm looking at right now, and I have no idea. There's nothing that says what model it is. It's just a VHI on it. Yeah, I am saying VH, right. Well, anyway, I'll keep it moving along, and I'll turn it back over to you. Kevin, you're right. You can catch. I caught a pompano there one time from the beach there at the state park, and also the same thing. I don't think it's surely not the same fish. You think, Kev? No, we're not worried about that. And the octopus was wild. I'm telling you what. Once I finally got it drug up on the shore, I thought, how am I going to get the hook out of this thing? And I went all over the shore, and I pulled it up out of the water, and it run back in the water. And I thought, well, I don't want to leave the hook in it because, that wouldn't be right either. It'll die out there with a hook in it. So I had a heck of a time. Matter of fact, it took two of us to get the octopus under control to get the hook out of it. So I'll turn it over to you, Kev. KK4GZQ, WC40.
Okay, Don, fine business. And Jim, keep your hand on the trigger over in Virginia. It's coming your way pretty quick. WC4D in the group, KK4GZQ. Morning, Perry. Good signal from Chester, PA this morning. Up there in Delco, is it? I'm just trying to be hip here, Perry. I think that's what they call it. Delco? Did I say something? Anyway, good morning to you, Bob, Big Signal K4BKC. Boy, Bob, the 20V is just a modulator. Gosh, that transmitter sounds good. Don't you guys think? Don talking about laying that carpet. Gee, no way. No way do I lay carpet or vinyl flooring. Well, you make a mistake, you got to be a true craftsman at what you do there, like Perry and his work. And Perry, saw some of your work lately on the older car, the older model. What I didn't even know the name of the manufacturer, but you doing some custom muffler work on that. Boy, you're doing a great job, my man. Really, hats off to you, buddy. I just really love to see your work. Anyway, Don, fine business on all, and we're looking forward to it. I caught a pompano up on the state park end. Caught a redfish over at Goose Island. That's that set of oyster beds that exposes itself on the left up there as you come in the state park up there, Don. It'll come up at low tide. You can walk on the little islands out there, and caught a pretty good sized redfish there. And this time is going to be the first time getting to fish the Bob Sykes cut, or government cut, over in the plantation part. So anyway, it's all, I'm getting excited. Heck, who wouldn't be? Here it comes to you, Jim. KM4XG in the group, KK4GZQ. K0 Sugar Fox.
Yeah, here at K0 Sugar Fox. Well, everybody sounds good. And I'm honored to be here in this group of big dogs, AM big dogs. Good golly, I'm amazed by what I'm seeing on all the QSB pages here. And the pictures are fantastic, unbelievable stuff. This is really cool. And everybody sounds great. Propagation is excellent. Don and Kevin, I wanted to say, down there in Kentucky, it's nice to get some signals from down that part of the country, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, Perry over in Ohio. Well, no, I'm sorry, Perry. Good morning to you, by the way. You sound awesome, as usual. Maybe even more awesome in the morning here. You are DFQ here, as they say. But everybody sounds great, and I had to go down to Hopkinsville, Kentucky, not long ago. My mother's youngest brother passed away, and I ended up driving down south on, 81, I guess, along the mountain. was in Virginia down into Tennessee and all the way across Tennessee and then back up into Kentucky there to get to Hopkinsville, and it was quite a drive. I really enjoyed it. It's a beautiful country. I'd never been to Kentucky before, and it was really, really interesting and quite nice. I really enjoyed it a lot. So, yeah, won't keep it long. There's a big crowd in here, and I heard a K0SF. And I'm confused about, let's go ahead and go to K0SF. And I think after that it goes to Gary, and then Jerry, and then Perry. K0SF in the group, KM4XG, Herndon, Virginia.
Okay, good morning. I missed your call. I think it's possibly KM4 X-ray Golf, but not sure. And maybe on a quick break. Could you give that to me and your name, please? Over.
Yeah, it's Kilowatt Mike 4 X-ray Germany. Name is Jim, Japan, Italy, Mexico. I'm in Herndon, Virginia, 20 northwest of D.C. Go ahead.
Okay, Jim, thank you. Thank you very much. KM4XG. K0SF, good morning. Yeah, over in Virginia. Yeah, you're coming in quite well. As is everybody else. Yeah, propagation's real good here to at least midway across the country. I think I'm here. I've heard everybody. And Jerry is doing quite well. Kevin. Gary is making it up here, so yeah, good morning. Fairly quiet as well. Well, I think we got our first, not sure, but I think we got our first below freezing morning here. Not by much, but the temperature right now is 31. And I'm quite sure this is the first one. A little bit, maybe even a little bit late for this. It's possible in September, and certainly in earlier October. So to get this close now to November, and well, I'm not going to complain. And I know it warms up again next week. So a little more cooler weekend here, but not terribly so. Highest in the mid-50s. That's pretty nice still. And we just got up, so and just heard a few of you guys on 85 here. I'll keep it going, and I got the order. It goes to Gary. I'm pretty sure that's WD4NKA, and then Jerry. I'm sure that's K9U, and then Perry. W3MMR. Gary, Jerry, and Perry in alphabetical order there. WD4 NKA K0SF over.
Gary. Well, good morning to you. It's good to hear you. And stayed in there just fine this morning, so the band's working. Good morning, Steve. Nice signal here as well. So, got long, short, which is nice. Hopefully, this will persist in the fall, winter. It's kind of great to hear that. I'm hoping 40 we get better, but so far it's still having its issues in the evening. It just goes, I don't know if it's long or just breaks. Oh, this is KE90 group here. Spin that one. I guess I should do that. And, Don, I like your story about the octopus. I know. What do you do? Yeah. I don't know if they're like a fish that'll dissolve a hook or not. Sometimes just cutting the line is best. Trying to take it out may be more damage. I always pair a cut at, side cutters. Just cut the hook in half. So they does that. I end up in the upper station, I'm sure you know, and Kevin as well. What I always hated is catching a snapping turtle. Holy mackerel. Like getting the hook out of there is not fun because you can't push it through. And usually just I cut it as good as I can with a long reach cutter. Let him go because, man, I think that's going to hurt. But some places they get so hungry, when you're bank fishing, they're so aggressive trying to get something. They get onto a lure, and I try not to use a treble hook if I'm in a situation I think they're there, because boy, that's a pain in the rear to get them off. And I do like turtle soup. I've had that. Turtle's good, but I'm not going to clean one, so I like to release them. Oh, boy, it's good stories. My wife and son's been to St. George several times, but always working, so I hear it's nice. I think Nathaniel, my son, they had a friend, the group they went with, and he was an oyster fisher at the time. This has been a number of years ago, but he took him out to the derricks out there, Kevin, and they were catching big snappers. But he has a big, wide, 22-foot boat for oyster fishing, but Nathaniel said after a short time that 22-foot seemed pretty small out there on the big water. So he's a bit nervous. And the guy would jump in the water and go spearfish a grouper or something. They were all hoping he made it back. The sharks didn't get him because, he drove the boat. Fun stories. I wish I'd been there. Anyway, let's see. I think I'll keep it short as well. Bob, good to hear you this morning again. Perry, good signal here. Nice to hear you guys in here at all. Jim, you're holding up well. So signals are doing good. Let's see. I'm sending T. Perry, and it's time for some more coffee for me. But all I got to do is spin my chair. W3MMR in the group.
KU9U in the group with my cat walking across my lap. Good morning to you too. W3MMR. This cat, man, it's like a dog. Anyway, man, oh man, great signals this morning. Good morning, Steve. K0SF. Good signal out of Minnesota this morning, Steve. Always good to hear you. Yeah, big group in here. All the old familiar faces are in here this morning. Really good to hear everyone. And the band's in great shape. I wish Charlie was in here this morning. I guess no Charlie, FNY. Oh, this morning. Foot slipped off the pedal there. But I'm sure he has better things to do than come hang out with us hooligans, man. Probably catching up on that shut-eye. Oh, man. But anyway, Kevin, you had mentioned the car that I was working on at work. For those that don't know, I think all of you know I work on cars for a living, but I do a lot of custom exhausts and fabrication and stuff like that. I never know what I'm going to work on. And a few weeks ago, a guy showed up with a 1929 Riley. It's an old British race car. Well, they won the Le Mans, the 24-hour Le Mans, back in the late 20s or early 30s. He was telling me the whole history of it. I was trying to keep up, but anyway, Guy brought one in. Thing is in really good shape for a car being that 80 plus years old. And I guess he went over to England to go buy a Rolls Royce and came across this and said, I want that instead. So got it sent back to the States. Long story short, needed some work, and I did a full exhaust system on it yesterday from front to back. Muffler, resonators, everything had to be hand bent and welded, and all that stuff. So that was cool. And then I had to last week I rebuilt one of the left rear wheel cylinder, driver's side rear wheel cylinder for drum brakes. If you're not familiar, that's what actually the hydraulic pressure presses out this cylinder, 2 cylinders on either side, and presses the shoes against the drum and applies pressure when you hit the brake. And with this one being 80 plus years old, the left side was all locked up, so had to be rebuilt and put it all back together. It kind of leaked a little bit, a little leaky, so he ended up ordering another one. And surprisingly, there's like a pretty good stock of parts for these cars overseas, over in England. So he was able to get me a new one within a couple weeks, and I ended up installing that yesterday too. So yeah, it came out good. I was happy with it. It's always something new and interesting when you're working in an independent shop that works on, say like a Meineke or Bob's Auto on the corner. You never know what's going to come in the door. It's never the same car. It's never the same year. And it's never the same problem. Yeah, I guess that's what keeps me interested in it, Back when I was younger, I didn't want to do it. There was times where I didn't want to do it. I said, I could do something better. I could do this. I could do that. But here I am, 20 years later, and I'm still doing it. So it's been a good career. I've loved it, man. And I still got a long way to go. So that's the story on that. Anyway, we'll keep it moving. Big group, man. Everybody's coming in really good, and it's really great to hear everyone, like I said this morning. Bob, I think you're still in there. K4BKC. Really, like I said, everybody's good 20 over, and the noise is about an S8 with static crashes up to about 10 over. So 2 thumbs up. Here it comes, Bob. K4BKC in the fine group, W3MMR.
Okay, Terry. W3MMR. K4BKC. Well, that's fascinating. All the custom work that you do on all those different type cars. I'm envious to have skills like that. My car nightmare lately is my transmission on my Buick Enclave gets dust, and that was just the last of many problems that vehicle has had. So I sent it to the transmission shop, and I think it's gonna find an auction or something somewhere, because I'm tired of having to open my wallet and hand people huge amounts of money to keep that thing on the road. I've had it for 13 years, so that's, I guess, a pretty good run. Anyway, the guy showed me a broken down transmission from that vehicle that he had in the shop, and he showed me the part that fails, and it looked like it was made out of a piece of tin from a coffee can or something. It was so thin and so small. I couldn't believe it lasted as long as it did. But that's just the way things are going these days. But I can't whine about anything else. That's glad we could pick up another vehicle and keep on going. So Don, let's see,
Gary, I believe, up there, he signed at NKA, and good to hear you this morning. Good to hear you, Steve. K0 Sugar Fox, you got a huge signal into Columbia this morning. Sounding great as always. Over to you, Don. Whiskey Charlie 4 Delta, K4 BKC.
K4 BKC, WC48. Well, I had a swell right there in the middle of that. Great signal out of Minnesota up there. Yeah, everybody sounds good. And good morning, Steve. K0SF. Another big signal this morning. Jim, you know, I worked quite a bit up there in the Manassas and Fredericksburg area. I was a telephone contractor, and one of my big jobs I had was there in Fredericksburg, and we used to have to go to Manassas, and then we had another huge job down at Chesapeake, and that's when the Hurricane Floyd came through. And it went through once, and then it went out in the ocean, then it came back again on shore. And where we were working at, we were right there on the North Carolina, Virginia border, and there's a river down there. It was all flooded horribly bad, and that was the only road that you could get to the Outer Banks on. And we were working along that road, and as we were working, all these cattle and stuff had, I guess they drowned it or something up the stream, and we'd be working, and there'd go a cow come floating by and a bunch of hogs, and I guess everything just washed out to the ocean eventually. But I was wondering, I thought, well, I wonder who's out there. Somebody ought to be surely collecting all that dead stuff, because it'd blow back up or wash back on the beach, you would think, or something eventually, and all them dead animals. But it was a mess during that hurricane down there. But we had a lot of fun up around there and stuff. It was a pretty area up there. I loved it around there. And we worked all the way up to, there's a couple other small towns up there around the D.C. area that we worked in, but I don't remember the names of them off my head. That was back in '99, so it's been a few days since all that. If you get an overabundance of whiting and you want to freeze them, bring some back. I'll take some. I love whiting. The only thing is, that's got to be the slimiest fish in the whole ocean. There is no doubt about it. And that's a jumping one. If you're out in the boat catching them, we used to go out in Tampa Bay when I lived down there, and we'd catch whiting and stuff there, and they would literally jump in the boat. They can jump 15 feet, I swear, through the air. And as you're reeling them in, they'll jump out and they'll land right in the boat with you. Then you got them. Your fish, all that fishing line and everything else in there, and that fish flailing around. It gets exciting really quick. With that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Kev. I don't have much more to yes about. And we'll see if anybody else wants to check in along the way. 73 to Gary this morning, and I'm sure we'll catch up with him tomorrow again. So, KK4 GZQ WC40 Group.
Okay, Don, fine business. In the middle of a big long stretch there. My goodness. Anyway, WC4D in the group, KK4GZQ. Good morning, Steve. K0 Sugar Fox with a beautiful signal out of Minnesota this morning, as always, Steve. And everybody else in here from Chester, PA, down to K4BKC, to Jerry, KE9U, Jim over in Virginia, Gary down in Deltona, and 73 Gary. I think that Gary said he was going to get with the wife and they were going to go for a walk. Early morning walk in Florida. I can't wait to get there. It's going to be good to be back down there as always. And I'll be looking for you guys on the air here, so these mornings, since the band has improved, that's all to my advantage, I guess you might say. The report from the red tide. The red tide has moved on around to the west, on around Cape San Blas. It's over parked, it's done around Panama City and Panama City Beach, and stretches upward to Mexico Beach, and it's it's near the shoreline at high levels over there. So, but it's been moved out of St. George, very low levels here for several days, and it's only going to improve. And also, we're looking at the 10-day extended outlook for the week we're going to be there. It looks like it's going to be nice. So, boy, I just can't wait. And just going to kick back and have some fun and forget about it for a little while. I've had a great year with my business. Still got a little work to do when I get back. Couldn't be any happier about everything. So, and yeah, the tower project we've got going out here with the 60-footer going up. It's got a full tower, that's going excellent as well. So we're figuring out the pulley system and got my eyeball on the layout of it now, and got a clear sight of what I need to do, I guess. So anyway, Jim, here it comes back over to you in Virginia. And actually, I'm going to step back from the microphone for a little bit as well. And I might join in with the other group here that comes in a little later. I wanted to get with Art and John and Joe. And they were going to make the ride over from Destin, Fort Walton, up to Pensacola. And just wanted to get with them one more time as well here before we leave and get on the road. So anyway, 7-3 all the way around. Very great to hear you and that Riley you're talking about, the 1929. Yeah, you had some good shots of up underneath it, and I was kind of studying the way they put that together. It's interesting. And England, okay, copy on that and the parts and all that. So, and all the variety of vehicles that it's a Kia 1 minute, a Volkswagen the next, and a Riley the third. So anyway, have a great day, everyone, and 7-3 all the way around. Back over to Virginia, KM4XG, KK4GZQ in the group.
Yeah, okay, Kevin, 100%. Real good, and 73 to you, and I'm going to do the same. I'm going to back out after this transmission and just go into listening mode, because there's a big group in here, and it's great hearing everyone. Excellent signals all around, and I'm really enjoying this a lot. And Perry, I've been after my son to get the Chilton's manual for his car. I've asked him a dozen times if he's been able to find a shop manual, and he says, well, no, and I think he's not looking. I think he's not going to be a car guy. I've been trying to get him into it, but I don't know. I might have to take you up on that offer you made about getting us some prints for that particular thing that we need to fix. I'll send you an email. And yeah, I wanted to say hi to Bob in Columbia and Steve down up in Minneapolis area. Great signals, both of you sound great down here in Virginia. And Bob, I wanted to say I got some friends in Paris, Tennessee. Not awful far from you, up around in between the lakes. And it's really nice out there, as you probably know. Nice country. And Steve, I was in Minneapolis one time and froze my butt off. Walk up Wabasha Street in St. Paul, actually it was, I guess, with a gale howling 40 miles an hour straight down the street coming out of the north, and I was out there. I was the only person walking in the street, and I just could not continue. I was forced into a doorway, because it was so fierce, and that's when I discovered the tunnels, the tubes that go all over here. I didn't know about that allow people to walk from place to place without going outside. And people were looking at me like, "What are you doing walking around outside for, man? There's nothing around here, are you?" Oh God! Oh, but that's what I remember most about being up there in Minneapolis, St. Paul. It was cold. Oh my God! But you said it. I don't want to hold it any longer. There's a lot I'd like to say, but especially talking about fishing, Don. Oh man, talk about slimy fish. The thing we have to look out for here is freshwater eels. And they are just nasty. Sometimes you pull up a whole ball of eels, an eel ball, and it's a big old slimy ball of eels. And I don't even pretend to want to take a hook out of that. I just cut the line and say good riddance. But like I said, I'm holding it too long already. So let's see here. Gary signed 73 to you, and Kevin as well. And I think you're going to get back around to KE9 Greenwood, Indiana, right? Let's pick it up, and I'm sure you know where it goes after that. And I'm just gonna listen out for a while. So 73, and thanks very much for letting me ride along. KE9U and the Fine Group,
Okay, Jeff, yeah, let's give it to Steve. Steve can bring it back to me. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, very good, guys. K0SF. Yeah, signals are still holding up very nicely. Yeah, good morning to Bob and Don and Kevin. Yeah, very, well over S9 and low noise. So, yeah, that's great. Well, sorry to hear about the experience in Minneapolis. I would. If you're not used to cold weather, I would not come here in January. At least not January, early Feb. That's when you don't come here then. It could be awful. The rest of the time of the year wouldn't get that cold, but yeah, we don't like it either, by the way. We had a stretch. I thought we got through January and it was fairly mild this year. I thought, the worst of it's over. And then we got hit with the first 2 weeks in February, and we went, I don't know, you can check, but my recollection is we went about 10 days where the temperature didn't get above 0 Fahrenheit for a high. And most of the lows at night were around minus 20. Even down here in Minneapolis, up in northern Minnesota, it was just eastern North Dakota. Oh gosh, it's horrible. So yeah, that's not a lot of fun, and I understand the people that go down to Florida, Arizona, Texas in the winter, and a lot of people, retirees up here, do that. We don't. My wife and I have been talking. We don't think we will. We kind of stick it out. In fact, we got a cabin in northern Minnesota with my sister and brother-in-law. But when we bought that, I was like, I think we're going the wrong direction here. Why are we buying something further north? Ought we not be doing this south somewhere? So, anyway, too late now. Sign the papers. I've been making the payment, so it's nice in the summer, but no, summer doesn't last that long up here. KE9U K0SF.
Okay. Yeah, that does sound cold. I don't think it's my cup of tea either. Not that frigid. Only experienced it once in my life on a trip. Like Jim, that was up in Montana, north up there. It was 54 below zero with no wind chill. And I just could not see how people lived like that. But anyway, I think that was extreme too for that year for them even. And 7-3 to you, Jeff, and Gary, again, and Kevin. Yeah, if I don't pitch tomorrow, probably won't. So have a nice trip. I know you have a good time. And let's see here. I'm trying to think. Perry, I'm still here. I'm going to make this the final visit. That go for the next group's going to come in the second shift. Then the third shift later on. But yeah, interesting things. And Jim, my dad loved eel. And I never had it myself, but he talked about it fondly. Oklahoma, where he grew up. Of course, we went back there. I was born in California. But I guess they don't handle water quality changes and urbanization, so it became scarce in that part of the country. And I'd see them once in a while when I snorkeled and did all spearfishing there in the freshwater stuff, where they were very elusive, but not really many of them. And of course, the only other time I've had eels on sushi, but I don't know where those come from. Probably a farm raised somewhere. But anyway, yeah, he talked about this. I wouldn't want to clean them either. I didn't care for catfish because of that so much. Blue cat or channel when they're small, but that was about it. Anyway, not a big fish eater, perch or crappie, but ocean, group or something, dolphin, or however you would say it. But yeah, I guess stick with the veggies and chicken and beef, I guess, for me. And Don, I don't know those pigs and cows. I don't think anything that goes in the ocean goes to waste. I think everything is sharks and crabs. I thought they lasted too long there, but you never know. But I'm sure the fish were happy about it. Boy, it's sad for the farmers, but yeah. And Don, if you ever get to it, I think you want to do flooring like that, not bad. And that new vinyl was neat stuff. I was looking at that. We got that. I'm getting ready to do our main bedroom, but it's not the vinyl. I went with a little different engineered product. That's waterproof, durable. Man, they're really cutting up some neat stuff. But I have my normal bandsaw, but you just go to the home store and their cheapest name brand, store brand, $80 or something, and pick you up one of those in a plastic profiler tool, and you'll do just like the pros. And but that's if you want to. It's not too bad. Once you get the hang of it, it goes pretty quick, Yeah, nice on the base trim. That's what I put down here was 6-inch, and because you got to pull the trim up to do it proper. But the bedroom here, I got to do that and redo that in the same trim, and that gets done. The thing I hate about is moving all the furniture. So anyway, got all the subfloor done and got that ready to expand the leak with one master bathroom had a toilet leak and didn't catch until the floor started bubbling. 1970 home here, but thing that I did like, they had 1970 particle wood as a subfloor over the one by main floor on the crawl space, and 1970 particle board is not like the newer stuff with lots of impregnated. This stuff is horrible. I don't know why people would put that down. Anyway, they did, so take all that out. No fun joy there, but it's all done. Let's see here. I guess that's about it for me. 9 a.m. fix this morning. Good to catch everything. And let's see. Dr. Perry, I think he's still here. And say my 73s as well. Bob, I think I thought you'd already traded that thing in, the way you talked the other day, but I understand. New vehicles are tough to find and are expensive. So I don't know, I guess you have to weigh the balances of it if you get the trade-in. Who knows, it might go another 4 years. But yeah, just these prices are really showing. W3MMR, Perry, over to you, and I'll listen out. And good morning all the way around from KE9U.
KE9U in the group. W3MMR. On a quick break, Jim, are you still in there? KM4XG, are you still listening? Oh, crap. Maybe not. Because he asked me about the other night. We talk almost every evening on the air here on like 3885 or 73 or something. Anyway, he was his son just picked up a new car, his first car, and needs some work. And as you guys heard him mention, he's been trying to get his son to get a Chilton repair manual, service manual for the car. Sounds like he's procrastinating a little bit. So I offered Jim, I offered to look up the info on the car, any info that he needed at the system at work, because we have this all service information on any car you could frickin' imagine, pretty much, at work through a program called AllData, which is an online, you used to have to download it, or you used to have to get these discs and put them in the CD-ROM 20 years ago, but now everything's online. You just go online and sign in, and you can have every torque spec, every service procedure, every repair procedure, bolt size, fluid capacity, and it's really nice to have all that at your fingertips. So I was just trying to figure out. I couldn't remember. I remember the car, the make and model of the car, but I don't remember what exactly needed to be done. So Jim, I will email you here in a little bit and get a hold of you, so I don't forget to do this. So I got to keep motivated. So that's a story on that. Hopefully we can get your son all straightened out there, Jim. Anyway, what else we got here? Jim had mentioned how cold it is in Minnesota. I've never been to Minnesota, Steve, but I've been to Illinois, up in Chicago, Great Lakes, southeast Wisconsin, and I don't think it's quite as cold as where you're at, but it's frickin' cold, man. It was cold. And this was in 2009. 2009 to 2011 is when I was there in Great Lakes, and the coldest day was minus 28 with a minus 43 degree wind chill. And we're right on Lake Michigan. I mean, the one border of the base is, the one fence is the lake, basically. So you get that wind whipping off the lake, and you go down to the lake, and I mean, there's a 6 foot, you can walk 40, 50 feet out, like on this ice ledge, and then all of a sudden you get to the edge and you look straight down. It's about a 10-foot drop down to the water, just because how much, this freezes, how fast this stuff freezes, man. But I've never experienced cold like that, and I don't think I ever will again, unless I go back to a place like that. And I'll tell you what, it takes a special person to live through that stuff, man, every year, man. But I guess if you grew up there and it's all you know, it's probably not nearly as big of a deal as things, like it would be to us. So anyway, we'll say 7-3 here. Everybody's rolling out, so we'll roll out as well. And put a little break in here before the guys down in Florida hop on. Joe and Art and all them boys down there, and Mac and Jay out in Texas. We'll say 7-3, guys. Have a fantastic day. I can't remember if you signed Bob K4BKC, but I will send it down to you. If not, I think Don, you pick it up as if Don's still there. So 7-3, guys. 7-3, Kevin, Jerry, Steve, Gary, Bob, Don, and Jim. K4BKC in the fine group. This is W3MMR. We'll be listening out.
Okay, Terry. W3MMR and the group. This is K4BKC. Well, we got a big group that's leaving here. 7-3 to you, Terry, and Jim and Gary and Kevin and Jerry. It was a real pleasure catching everybody this morning, and I think I'm going to hang in here for a little longer. I might run and get another cup of coffee. I need a camel pack on my back for coffee this time of morning. You all were talking about fishing. Most of the saltwater fishing I've done has been off of Destin, because Destin, Panama City area is the closest beach to here. About 7 hours straight south, and I guess some people can get there a little quicker I'd drive like grandma. So, anyway, but most of my saltwater fishing has been there. From Destin, it's big snapper and grouper, and we really enjoyed that. It was some of the best fish we've ever had. Let's see. Cold in Minnesota. Yeah, back in the 90s, I flew into Rochester in the wintertime, late January, and it was dark and snowing, and the wind was blowing, and cold. I mean, I thought that was the coldest place I'd ever been. We went downtown in Rochester, and there's a tunnel system built around the city, so people didn't have to go out in the weather to get from one place to the other. I knew then that it was going to be bitter, and it was. And Jim said Paris, Tennessee. Paris is the home of the world's biggest fish fry. Every town down here in the South has their own celebration. They have strawberry festivals, tomato festivals, fish festivals. We have a Mule Day here in Columbia. They have a ramp festival, which is a wild garlic onion kind of plant up in the mountains. So everybody has their day, and Paris has the world's biggest fish fry. So there you go. Let's see. I've been sending it to Don, so I'll send it back to him, and hang around for one more. WC4D, K4, BKC. Here she comes, Don.
WC4D. Well, very good. Everybody's still sounding good. Perry was getting a little bit light to me, but that happened about the same thing, about the same time yesterday when we were all in here. We had a good group, 73s to Jim, Jerry, and Kevin, and Perry. I'm sure we'll pick it up again, if not tomorrow, surely on Monday or something again. I'll be back again, as long as I keep waking up this early. My wife is from South Dakota, and, everybody thinks North Dakota is bad, and it is. That's Minot and all them places is just like International Falls. They're always temperature-breaking places. But last year we went in the middle of October to think we know at the end of October you're always a chance of a snowstorm or something. So last year we went more towards the beginning to the middle of the state, a month I mean, and we got out there, and I had a rental truck. We were going to pick up a desk and stuff, and I didn't want to put the miles on my truck, so we rented a truck. It was fairly cheap back then, and we went out there. So we ended up with, I think the 18th or 16th of October, we ended up with 6 inches of snow, 16 degrees, rain, sleet, one day, next day, snow, freezing cold, mud everywhere. Oh my gosh. Anyhow, when we were leaving, we got out of there on a Saturday. We sat for 4 days just staring at each other because we couldn't go anywhere. And we went to we decided we were going to outrun a storm that was coming out of the west there, and they were calling for 6 to 8 more inches of snow. I said, I'm out of here. So we took off, and we just drove 100 miles, and the roads were all clear. We pulled into a Walmart to pick up some stuff, and everybody was looking at the truck, and they go, where have you been? Because the truck was horrible. It was unbelievable, this truck was. And when I got it back to Lexington, Kentucky here, it took me almost $15 at a car wash to get all the mud, rock, and gravel, and everything else off this brand new truck. It only had 900 miles on it when we took off, and it was a mess when we got back. But
I lived in Florida for 17 years down there, and I lived from one end of the state to the other, from side to side. I came here in 2003 to Lexington because of an ice storm they had here. And I did telephone work at that time. I was an outside telephone cable splicer, and so I came here to help with the storm work on all that, and they were paying great money, like $45 an hour, all the hours you wanted to work and stuff. So we were rolling up, $100 a week and $4,500 a week paychecks. So that wasn't too hard to take, even though it wasn't that much fun. But I left Boynton Beach, it was 86 degrees. I came here, it was 26 degrees. And I'm from this part of I was born in Louisville, Kentucky, and went to my high school and stuff like that up in Indiana. So I'm familiar with the weather and stuff, but man, after 17 years in Florida and coming here, that was culture shock again almost, as strange as that might be. I don't know that Kentucky's noted for anything. Horses, I guess. We have Keeneland Racetrack here, and I live in the horse capital of the world, per se. They say Lexington is, as they advertise it. So, as most people, as you ride around the countryside, you would see farms of, especially up north of soybeans and corn and stuff like that after you get but around here we don't have very few farms, a little bit of tobacco every now and then, but mostly it's nothing but horse farms everywhere. So it's absolutely beautiful here. It's the rolling hills, and I don't live in the mountains. I think most people come to Kentucky and they drive through to Kentucky. I think they're just astonished that we wear shoes here, because I think they were under the fixation of that we're all hillbillies and run around shoeless here. So I've got a buddy up in Ohio. Every time Kentucky played, they played Ohio State a couple of years ago in the NCAA tournaments, and he said, you know the rules when you come up there and play in the NCAA, that the boys basketball team has to wear shoes, don't they? And we beat Ohio State, so I told him, even though for the first time us wearing shoes, it wasn't that bad, it wasn't that hard, we still beat Ohio. So, it's just a joke between us up here. We always pick on each other. I'm going to get out here also. Thanks for the great guys. Bob, you sound great up here. That's a great sounding station. And Steve, you're doing a fine job here too. And from Florida to Michigan, Minnesota, so that's a pretty good coverage, and from coast to all the way. It seems like we never hear west. Texas is about as far as we ever hear west most of the time, if anybody gets to join as a group in the morning. So y'all take care. Have a great day today. God bless. And 73. This is Whiskey Charlie 4 Delta over at, I guess, K0SF. You're the last one besides Bob Sanders. Talk to y'all later. 73.
Yeah, let's do it, JP.